is the Waupaca City Plan Commission meeting.
All right, welcome everybody to our regular City Planning Commission meeting. Today is Wednesday, October 4th, 2023, and I'll call this meeting to order. In attendance, we have Commissioners Olson, Wayne, Gusky, and Mayor Brian Smith, and then we also have Jarrett J-Rod with us tonight, staffing it up for us tonight. It's because I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so he's just J-Rod. We're waiting for Henry to come. He said he was going to be here tonight.
I think I see his shadow. There he is.
Perfect timing, Henry. You've already voted.
Yeah.
He was just out there waiting to be announced.
Don't look at your watch because we know
You've
you're
already voted that you have to buy dilly bars.
Okay.
And so Henry's here. We have 5 present. Angela is not here tonight. And of course, Aaron is not a member. Oh, and Justin. Justin Behrens is not here tonight either. Those are 2 commissioners. And then Aaron Jensen, our city administrator, is unable to attend tonight too. So, but we do have a quorum. So we got 5 out of the 7 that we need for the quorum. There is a couple of minutes that are from our last meeting in September that we need to approve and just place them on file. If we could get a motion. Oh, yeah, sorry. Sorry, Barb. We need to approve the agenda first, so anybody would
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Gusky, second by Wayne, that we approve the agenda as printed. Discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, say no. Motion carried. Now we can look at the minutes. This would be the public hearing from September 6th and then the regular meeting, city planning meeting on September 6th. Again, we just make a motion so that we can place these on file.
Yep, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Olson, second by Wayne, that we approve both of those minutes from last month's meeting. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, say no. Motion carried. Action items. I'm going to slow down a little bit. Jared's got to multitask tonight here, so. All right, so action items. We have certified survey map for 715 Hill Street. This is for Alan and Rhonda Melby. There's some bunch of other addresses in there, but you're going to explain it to us, so you go for it.
Let me scroll to that item so everybody can see it on the screen.
I should say, as long as he's setting this up, the Melbys are here, so if we have any questions, or if they have any comments, we'll go that way.
All right, so the certified survey map can be found on page 8 of your packets. The certified survey map was brought forward to us by Rhonda and Al Melby, who actually own some of the parcels within the certified survey map, but they also live just across the street on another parcel. And I believe their son, owns the lot 3 on the certified survey map. So what they're looking to do is right now the lots as they're configured are just a bit odd, a little bit difficult to develop. I think currently one of them touches, 2 different lots, but or 2 different streets, but on Western Avenue it's really narrow. So it just creates a difficulty for them. So they're looking to just rework some of the lot lines to make the lots more buildable. And I believe the intent is for their son to actually build a new house on one of the lots. So they're looking to add housing and then either sell or rent out their current house. So city always likes to hear when you guys are adding housing. It's always great. So they are looking to, because it is a parcel division, that's creating one additional parcel, and it's also reworking a bunch of property lines. It was brought forward to the Plan Commission for official, recommendation to the council for approval or denial. Taking a look at each of the lots as they are proposed, they do meet all of the zoning code requirements that we currently have in place, and there is no issues with that. So staff would recommend approval of the subdivision and lot line adjustments through the certified survey map, but is happy to also take any questions that you guys may have. I don't know if there's another. Just certificates.
I don't have any questions, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I am just messing up all day today.
Is this a recommendation to council, or do we? Yeah.
It is.
Yep.
Yeah. Anybody have any comments or questions on this property?
These lines are the updated lines? What they recommend update?
Yes, yep. All of these new lines and the lots as they are displayed, lot 1, lot 2, lot 3, and lot 4 are all of the newly proposed lots in size. Sizes, dimensions, lot lines.
So are we looking for motion?
Yep, you'd be recommendation to council for approval or denial.
I'll make that motion to recommend to council to approve these lot lines.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Gusky, a second by Veliker, that we approve or recommend to council this certified survey map. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, say no. Motion carried. That was easy.
That was easy. Thank you,
Yeah.
gentlemen.
Oh, wait, hold on now. Once you're here, you gotta stay.
We're going. Thank you.
Enjoy your evening. See ya.
Have a good
Hey,
night.
tell Ron hello
I will.
for me.
Good seeing
Thank
you
you.
guys. See you later.
Bye.
Hi, Dina. Good seeing you too.
Good to see her.
All right, next up, we have ordinance number 12, 2023. This is amendment to chapter 17.104, permitted uses and conditional uses for solar array.
Thank you very much, Mayor. So this is one that we had discussion in the last Plan Commission meeting. This was for adding the solar array land use to the A1 and I2, so the agricultural and heavy industrial districts as conditional uses. Did this somewhat in anticipation for a potential project in the future that could go on a city landfill that is zoned I2, but also opening up the opportunity in the industrial districts and agricultural districts if the landowners there would see that as a best fit use, and it can be a benefit of green energy to the city and surrounding area. We of course would love to encourage that. So brought this forward in ordinance format. Again, we don't have a project for the city specifically. So if we were wanting to wait and hold off on this until that project, has more ground to stand on and actually comes back to council for approval, we could do that. Otherwise, like I said, this would open up the possibility for any landowners in the agricultural I2 district to consider solar array. I will say that given the current atmosphere around the production of energy in the state of Wisconsin, it probably is unlikely that somebody would come forward anytime soon. And anytime soon, I would say in the next 6 to 9 months for sure, with any sort of project. But again, it opens up the door and allows people to consider it or even think about it as an option. So happy to take any questions, if there are any.
First reading, of course, so we would be recommending this to council. No, this confuses me, and I'm sorry for asking this. I should know after all these years, but some of our ordinances require public hearings and some do not.
So anything dealing with the language in the code would have public hearings at the council. So if this is recommended to the council from the Plan Commission, we would then, or my department would then publish a public hearing. Council wouldn't see this for probably another, not next council meeting, but the following, because of that public hearing.
So the public hearing would be before the council meeting.
Yep. Any language changes in the ordinance itself, code of ordinances. Yep. Any zoning change or conditional uses would have public hearings at Plan Commission.
Okay, and nothing else is changed in here. It's just to allow for
Yep, that's just the solar array.
solar.
Yep.
Mayor,
Yeah, Henry, go ahead.
do we What's a solar array defined as? I guess in my mind, as residential, you have enough ground, you could put 12 panels in the ground.
Sure. Yeah, so,
And that would still be allowed in a residential.
yes.
So array is big.
So think of solar array, principal use. Solar panels and adjacent to a house, accessory
I
use.
got you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So somebody could not go into as this is written, or as our code is written, if you, on your house, you wanted to put solar panels, you could because you have a house there. Now, Mayor Smith, who may have a vacant lot next to his house, if he wanted to fill that whole thing with solar panels, because the solar panels would be the only thing on that lot, it would count as a solar array and we'd have to deny him.
Got you.
Good thing I don't have a vacant lot.
I do.
You do.
Yeah, you do, but it's full.
Kind of rezone it to ag.
Yeah, not gonna be
But
much
you're full
solar.
of woods. You'd have to cut all those trees down. You know anybody that's good at wood?
No, I don't.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? Anybody have any questions, comments on this? Seems pretty clear, and really, the impetus for this whole thing is that we had a presentation at the council level on somebody that possibly is interested in doing this, either in one of our old landfills, or even out where we have our wells, 3 and 4, is that right?
Correct.
Or 4 and 5?
5 and
5 and 6, yeah, 5 and 6, out on County E towards Stratton Lake, or Spencer Lake. So, Jared is recommending that we recommend this ordinance to council. So I would ask for a motion.
I would make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Olson, second by Wayne, that we recommend to council ordinance number 12-23. Any further comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, say no. Motion carried. We are next, ordinance number 13. Aren't you an ordinance man? Ordinance number 13-2023, or amendment to chapter 17.603 parking requirements in chapter 17.606 driveways. All yours.
Thank you very much, Mayor. So this one can be found on page
15.
15 of your packets. So what really this one's doing is it's a cleanup. So when Justin and I were reviewing a recent issue throughout the city, we took a look at each of our codes and realized that my code said one thing and his code said another. That created quite the predicament, which in the end we decided that Public Works has ultimate jurisdiction over which access was the issue here, over right-of-way access and the widths of driveways and things like that. So we ultimately went with Justin. So as such, I had told Justin and worked with him to make sure that what he had in his code is what we wanted. And then I told him that I would change my code to just reference his code. So that way we're not duplicating codes, and if, I just copy his and he changes his and we don't remember to change mine, it just creates a headache. So if I just reference his chapter, that's just one thing we have to change if we ever change anything in the future. And it's one thing to reference. So just makes it a little cleaner, a little easier. It would be changing specifically on page 15 of your packets. It'd be 17.603, the section 1, adequate access. You can see it says see chapter 811, Public Works, Municipal Code of Waupaca, Wisconsin for driveway width requirements. And there would be another section in 17.606, again, number 1, that it says the identical statement I had just noted above. So it's just a cleanup, making it more clear, making it more standard, making sure that community economic development, zoning, and public works are on the same page.
Okay, so I'm Joe Fix-It, or Joe gonna do a new house on my property and stuff like that. And so I'm gonna go through these ordinances to try and figure out where I have to put my, put this easement for my driveway and so on that property. I guess my question really is how easy is it for somebody that doesn't know how to run through the ordinances to find these things when you're saying, hey, you got to go see now chapter 8.11 and then you got to come back to 17.603. I mean, is it clickable? Do you click on it and then you can?
I would say if you know to go into the code and read it and look at it, I believe you would have enough of an understanding to switch back to the sections because it would just be 2 clicks. And it's all pretty numbered and standardized. There's a table of contents right on your left that outlines, chapter 8, the sections, everything. I would say for the person that doesn't know to look at the code anyways, they would probably have a very difficult time navigating no matter where it was.
And that's where you guys come in.
And that's where we come in. We take the phone calls, the emails. They ask the question. We copy the code out of the online book, I guess, and we send it to them directly. So anyone who doesn't know how to access it, we just send them the information directly. We reference the code in those emails just in case they are curious, but we make sure to just detail the language and then also offer an explanation if we think it's needed.
And so this came up because somebody
So this came up because we actually had somebody expand their driveway, and per my code, it was not allowed, but per Justin's, it was. So
but they still have to get a permit.
So
to do that?
they should have gotten a permit either way.
And did
but
they?
that they
Sorry.
didn't.
They didn't, okay.
But I believe Justin notified them and had them come in and get a permit.
Okay,
So
and then, it's funny that this is the first time that's ever come up, where,
and there's been a few. It was more prevalent, and I guess it was our code enforcement officer had seen somebody physically doing the work, and that's when he noticed it. But then once we took a look around that neighborhood, there were many that had already done that work, and just nobody caught it. I guess nobody probably thought about it because all the concrete was all the same color. I mean, maybe slightly off. If you put concrete in one year, it's really white. The next year, it kind of grays. So I mean, it was pretty close, not really noticeable to make you think like, oh man, that's fresh concrete.
so you could tell.
So you could tell. So it didn't really spark until we saw somebody physically doing it.
Sometimes when we start talking about ordinances and codes and regulations and so on, and I think, what does a layperson, when do they know that they have to get a permit or, and I mean, I guess if you're trying to expand your driveway, that would click in your mind that you probably need to ask the city before you do that, I would think, because actually that part of the property doesn't even really belong to the property owner. So I guess it makes sense,
It clicks with some, it doesn't click with others.
Yeah.
And I will say it's not perfect. As me working in the department, there's things I've done to my house where I've gotten materials for it, and I took a step back and I go, I might want to check if I need a permit or not. So even as somebody that works in the field, it's not perfect, and we do try to work with everybody. Repeat offenders where they should know. We come down a little harsher on, but for the most part, we try to be pretty lenient and lean towards public education than
just getting it right.
punishment. Yeah,
Just getting it right.
letting them know that that's why we do it. This is how you do it, helping them through it, etc.
Okay. Sorry, you guys, for asking those questions there, but, so, again, Jared is recommending that we recommend to council ordinance number 13-23. Anybody want to make that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Gusky, second by Wayne, that we approve the ordinance, or recommend to council ordinance number 13-23. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, say no. Motion carried. We're down to reports and development updates. Jeez, Jared, you're making it easy on us tonight.
I had to give you
God.
guys some slack here.
What a
Can't make it hard
guy.
all the time.
What a guy, what a guy.
Yeah, so first report can be found on page 19 of your packets. This would outline the building permits that were issued. Pretty standard. I think it was a little slower, and so we were able to catch up on a few things, and it's also good we had a few code compliance things that we're trying to catch up on as well, so, and I was also absent, so gave us a little bit of a slowdown, which is nice. Still a decent amount of permits coming in and being approved, work being done.
What is that one raise? Is that the one that we knew was gonna happen? Or is that, you know?
211 Deer Street, so that is not the one so that's over by Trinity Lutheran. So right across the street from us here. And they were trying to move the house, but couldn't find anybody to purchase it from them, move it. Moving costs proved to be difficult just because the amount of power lines needing to be moved. So the companies quoted them pretty hefty on the moving, so they opted to raise the house. Their end goal is to combine. Right now they have 3 parcels, one with the church, one with a house, one with a detached garage. And their eventual goal is to tear down the house, make that green space, and then combine all 3 parcels into one whole parcel. And then they'd use the green space for whatever it may be.
So that house was taxable, or it wasn't being, I'm talking property taxable?
I don't have the answer to that.
Just thinking if we're losing a taxpayer, that's all. So
I do not have an answer to that one.
my guess is that it was taxable, because I don't think the church was using it.
For their purpose.
Yeah, so, yeah. Okay, keep going, sorry.
No, you're good. Your questions are good. Next one would be the zoning. Again, a little bit slower, which was nice because we're trying to catch up on a few bigger projects, code compliance issues, but still quite a few that are coming through. Big notable ones: 219 North Main, the change of use to the craft distillery and tasting room. So that's all the way at the end of North Main, right next to the Danes Hall, where they would like to do a craft distillery. And then 206 North Main, Victorian Bridal was using that shortly just as a pop-up shop. There have been some inquiries into a new business, so I hope in our next meeting we can talk about that. But hopefully we can get everything in line for them. It seems like it'd be a really unique little ethnic retail store that sells food and things like that. So adding a little bit of culture to North Main, which would be cool.
What are you saying? We don't have any culture now?
No, we have culture and a little bit more culture.
He
Sorry,
said adding, he's adding.
adding's adding.
Oh,
He said there wasn't any, he said he's adding to what's there.
We got.
All right.
As long as you're
It's
around,
just
Mayor,
interpretation, huh?
as long as you're around, Mayor, we got culture.
Yeah, we sure do.
And that's all that's probably notable. Just decks and fences and other things. In terms of development updates, we continue to work with the developer out in River North on the 120 to possibly 140 unit complex. They are working on financing. Some hiccups with some of the financing. I'm sure we'll see a little bit more delays, but more to come on that one. The Division Street, 223 Division Street, the old St. Mary's site, I believe the foundation is entirely out. It's in piles right now, and we did just get approval from the state on their plans. So now I think the next step is for them to come in and get their building permits here, and then they should be good to start. So I anticipate that happening soon. I know they had a timeline that they were looking to stick to, and any more delays, they will not stick to that. So we'll see. Hopefully that comes through soon. The apartments that were going over by Plant 2-3 at the Foundry, those have hit just a bit of a snag. I think on their end, they're just working things out. City processes are forward and approved. except for building permits, of course. But they're just working on things on their end, corporate things I don't understand. So I'll let them work on it. Hopefully, wait to hear from them. What else we got? We're continuing to work with River North on all of the other parts. Runway. We do have a workforce housing project coming forward to us that we are awarded from the state. So that would be 45 cottage-style workforce housing units, which are really great. I've been to many conferences since we were awarded those, and it's really great to see the entry-level teachers, firefighters. It's an entry-level place that they can truly afford. So it's really nice to see housing going up that benefits the whole community in that aspect. We're always looking for affordable housing, and we now know nowadays that that's hard to find. So it's nice to have a project like that coming forward.
That's in River North?
And that's in River North. That'd be north of the industrial one on the corner.
Godfrey, is it?
There's the industrial business on the corner of Industrial and Godfrey.
Center line.
Center line, thank you. So it's
Oh,
in between.
behind that.
Yep, it's to the north of Center line and to the south of that multi-tenant
What is
building
that
on Royalton.
road that goes in there? I can't remember now. That goes past there. It's not Godfrey.
Industrial.
Oh, it is industrial.
Yeah.
Okay.
South Industrial.
Godfrey.
Yep, so working with them, they're doing some site planning. Of course, we only want them to use what they need, so we can use the rest for single-family housing. So they're working diligently on that. And then we continue to work with developers on the single-family housing portion. So more to come on that. And then the big one, we've been working on a sewer extension on Runway Drive to the airport. I believe the council last night just approved a professional agreement for Strand and Associates to do some design work on that project. There is a developer that if we get sewer in there, that they are looking to develop on Runway Drive. 3-phase, pretty substantial. I think they said 30 to 40 jobs. So pretty great that we have that opportunity, and we're trying to take advantage and move as fast as we can to meet their timelines. Justin, he's not here, but maybe he won't listen to this, so I give him kudos. He has done fantastic work on that and put in a lot of effort. So if we are able to get this project through and then get this development in, a huge shout out to him. But that also just opens up a lot more opportunity to build on Runway Drive, which I think is a great area to develop right next to Highway 10. So if you guys know any industrial businesses or associated industrial businesses that would want to go in on Runway, let them know that we're looking for development. So, that wink was to you.
What do I know?
Right? Well, and Strand, the one that's doing the sewer plan for out there too, made a good point last night too. We're that much closer to being able to cross Highway 10 to the south side if there are any, but we don't have anything, and it's not in the city across the street, but we have had inquiries over the last few months on property on the south side, so we're getting a little bit closer to where people might want to build on the south side, and we will be pretty darn close to being able to offer them sewer and
Does
water.
Swiderski still own that large
They
tract
do.
to the
Part
south?
of it, yeah. Yeah, part of it.
Well, it only took about 15 or 18 years. I think that sewer line was like phase 3 of that TIF.
Yeah.
Years ago, yeah.
We were looking at where, we don't have the map in front of us, but it was a strange place where they stopped it. Wasn't it?
It was on at the tip top of Ferg Lane, which extends off of Runway to the north. So they went through parcels to get to where they are.
But then they stopped. It's funny that they didn't go all the way. It was money, I'm sure, but yeah, at the time, that was a pretty expensive TIF for us. So that, and obviously, you know, we know that TIF, everybody probably knows that TIF 8 is a distressed TIF, and is not keeping its head completely above water without help from the other TIFs. But every time we get a project like this, you know, that gets us closer to being self-sustaining within that TIF. So, yeah. Thanks, Jared.
That's all I got.
Yeah. Jared's a married man now since you guys last saw him.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're not living in sin anymore.
Well, when you put it that way, Henry, jeez.
I sound like my parents.
You do. You do. All right. Anything else for the good of the meeting? Looking for a motion.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Olson, second by Wayne, that we adjourn until our next regular scheduled meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, say no. Motion carried. We're adjourned at 5:46 PM.
Seconded that way?